First play of the game, we're going blind pig.
We're gonna go blind pig.
Blind pig, yeah.
So I'm also a big fan of the blind pig action.
The only reason we're running this action now is because he wanted to say blind pig.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to the Blind Pig podcast. Psyched to be back talking more Super League basketball. With the opening week of SLB behind us, we can now turn our attention and have a little bit fun and start talking about all those absolutely crisp and clean new SLB jerseys that have dropped. One of the best parts of every year is having an excuse to buy more jerseys.
Black Friday isn't quite what it used to be.
Jerseys. And it's great to be thinking about which ones am I going to add into my collection and which ones are going to be a solid part of my jersey rotation. Now, obviously, not every SLB jersey is a banger. So today we're going to be ranking all of the SLB jerseys that we know of so far. Unfortunately, that means none for Surrey, because despite it being opening weekend, they still haven't told us what they're going to be wearing this season. Before we get to that though, as a channel, we are on a journey to hit 500 subs by the end of the year. That only happens if you guys smash the like button and hit subscribe.
Do it. Do it now.
When we're ranking SLB jerseys, there are definitely levels to this game. Starting at the very top, we have our GOAT level. These are jerseys that are absolutely fire. Regardless of the era, regardless of who's wearing them, they always look good. They're the must-have ones that people need to buy and need to have in their rotation of jerseys. The GOAT layer is reserved for something really, really special. Just underneath that, we have our hardwood classics. These are ones that look absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal jerseys. And you know what? They're going to be repeated again and again throughout time. When franchises are perhaps struggling or thinking, what do we do next? They're going to revert to these classic colorways, these classic patterns, and make it look and feel like that retro classic. Hardwood classic is our second layer. We then move into the last passable grade, the solid attempts. Look, there's a reason that we do this every year. You know, lots of teams swing, lots of teams miss. But you know what? We've got to give credit for people who attempt something brave and bold and something new. Moving into our failing grades then, we have, is it on discount? We've all bought a bad jersey just because the price was low. And there was a couple of jerseys last season, including the Sheffield Sharks 24-25 jersey, that to me only popped off the page because the price was low. Some of them, they don't look particularly nice, but you'll buy them just to say you've got it, as long as the price is right. And then finally, our bottom tier, no way, bro. These are jerseys that we would not touch. They go straight in the bin. They look horrendous on the TV. They look horrendous in person. This is the one that we want to avoid if we're creating jerseys. But unfortunately, even in our session today, some jerseys are going to fall into no way, bro. Now, there are some general rules that I personally have. And, you know, jerseys are a real matter of taste. But the first one for me is round necks. A round neck jersey is always the best type of jersey. Over V-necks, over wishbone. If it's round neck, it's going to look better. Second, pinstripes. Pinstripes are always fire. They're always classic. They always look good. Pinstripes make a jersey look better. And the final rule has to be around trim. It's the 21st century. If you can't do some cool things with the neckline, running down the vertical, something like that, you know, if the trim isn't part of what makes a jersey special, then we're not maximising the opportunity we have. So keep those sort of in your mind as we go through, and let's think about those things. What type of neck is it? Does it have pinstripes? What does the trim look like? And let's start to rank all of the SLB jerseys that we know of so far. Let's start by talking about Manchester Basketball. Manchester have only dropped their home kit so far this season, but they've come back essentially with the same kit that they had last year, but just with a few less stripes. But what do we love about this jersey? We love how clean the logo looks. Fits on there so nicely. And the alternative pinstripe between the blue and the red, representing Man City and Man United, is a super nice detail touch. Last season, these were some of the best kits in SLB. And when they talked about getting a new kit, the one thing that I hoped they wouldn't change was this pinstripe look. For me, these are some of the crispest and the best jerseys in the league. And they sit firmly between the GOAT and the hardwood classic. You know, it's been repeated now 2 years in a row. They still look good. They still look as fresh. And they're creeping into that GOAT tier. For Bristol, they had an amazing launch with their jerseys. and they've released both the home and the away. And they did a nice little sort of photo shoot with Marcus Del Pesce and Pasquale Landolfi, really modelling the kit. So I have to give them a lot of credit for how they released them. It looked really professional, really, really nice. For their home kit, they've stuck broadly with the colourway that they had last year, sticking with a navy blue theme. However, they've ditched the pinstripes this year for what can only be described as like a half ring of fire raising up from the waist. I personally absolutely love blue on pink. I think the navy and the pink on the trim go really, really well together. The flame is a nice touch. However, one of the problems is that when this jersey is tucked in, you're probably only seeing like a quarter of the bottom of that sort of flame sort of tickling out the bottom. You don't really get the full effect compared to when the jersey is untucked. For me, the home Bristol Flyers jersey is a solid attempt at something nice. It's different, it's unique, has really nice colours. I think this is a good, solid jersey. Contrasting that to their away jersey is tough. It's tough, this one. So what do I like about it, first and foremost? Okay, so compared to their away jersey last year, I really love that they've ditched that graffiti Bristol logo, switching it out for the classic Flyers logo. For me, that's a massive step up, massive improvement. And one thing I do like from the Bristol away jerseys is the F1 inspired checkered stripes running down the side. Adds a really unique sort of touch to it, makes it stand out and pop a little bit. But the thing that I can't get over is just how plain the rest of the jersey is. Just like this plain cream looking thing. It's not good. It's really not good. The numbers are small, the logos don't really pop out. I think really they missed a chance here. The big difference as well is that last year their away jersey was bright pink. And it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal colourway on that jersey. So to go from pink to white, for me, that moves this firmly into the tier of, is this on discount? I think that's kind of the level we're at when it comes with the Bristol Flyers away jersey. Potentially you might want to grab it if it's a good, affordable price. It almost looks a little bit like Milwaukee Bucks Cream City, but not done quite as well. Moving now into London. Last season, I was a huge fan of London. Obviously, one of their main kits is they played in the black and orange LDN kits. And in their playoffs, they had the crispest jersey, and I think the best jersey from last season, their white noise. It was the only team that had a unique playoff kit, and it was intentionally perfect with how it left the white space, and it really fit in with the vibe that London was creating last season. This year, London went through a huge rebrand with their logo. They tried to do a rebrand again with their kits, and even partnered with a big player like Adidas. But what they've got absolutely sucks. It really sucks bad. It's straight trash. Even though it has a round neck, which is a plus and a good thing, the other thing in the kits just doesn't work for me, and it gives off a real practice jersey vibe. Let's go with their away kit first. So their away kit is their white, very simplistic, has the London Lions on the front, and a small lion's crest up near the chest. Aaron Ryan might just be wearing this wrong. This feels way too baggy, way too big. Running down the side in the trim, it's got a couple of Adidas stripes, but nothing that really makes it stand out. I think this is a horrid jersey. I would not wear this jersey. This is a practice jersey on a professional team. For me, this falls firmly into the camp of no way, bro. Now, the Lions' home jersey, which they have revealed, is essentially the same thing, just flipped or inversed, where they're playing in black. Genuinely, I think black jerseys look better than white jerseys. So for me, it's definitely a step up, but it's still not giving the same kind of vibe that London had last season or seasons in the past. For me, the Lions home jersey, is it on discount? If so, maybe I'll pick up, but I definitely won't be paying full price. Now, Newcastle didn't make a huge fanfare about their new kit. In fact, there was no sort of release about it, but it's one of the teams that we saw quite early start to put things on socials, letting us know what their kit was going to look like. Obviously, Newcastle has an iconic strip coming through their football team of black and white, and the Eagles are regularly running like black and white nights. However, they have done some really nice stuff, which I think makes a really substantial difference. And one of the things that they've done in their home kits is obviously a solid base of white with black stripes, but they've also introduced this beautiful gold colour. They've got gold sort of mixed in there throughout the trim, and adds a really nice pop into the colourway and makes it look and feel a bit different. They've also taken iconic landmarks from Newcastle and embossed that into the jersey itself. And so it doesn't just feel like a plain white jersey with some stripes on it, but it's really a connection to location, where they're from. I really like the white Newcastle Easel home jersey. For me, it is a solid attempt and it looks good. Now their away jersey, I think, looks even fresher. This one is set on black, but again, that gold interplay comes in even more. So we see less of the white stripes, a lot more of the gold coming through. We see here Mitch Clark modelling it, absolutely fireable. Because it's set on black fabric, the gold details of Newcastle landmarks really pop out even more. This looks absolutely ace. For me, this is a hardwood classic. Moving on now to Leicester. And look, there's not many ways to mess up a nice, clean red jersey. There's some subtle changes, including a black and white contrast in the trim and introducing the Small Riders logo above the Leicester text. We haven't seen their away kit yet. Shortly after I finished recording, Leicester pulled this absolute dynamite jersey out of the bag. An absolutely awesome black jersey with pinstripes and a red and white trim. This definitely feeds off of the Dark Horse concept that they had last year. But if anything, I think it's elevated it and delivered even more. This is a freaking awesome jersey. I love it, man. 100%, this is a GOAT jersey. But I'm really hoping to see if they kind of keep the Dark Horse jersey that they played in last year. And it was definitely their best kit last year. For the Leicester Riders, this is a very simple, very safe jersey, but it's a hardwood classic. It's something that's proved really successful in the past and something that's going to prove, I think, massively successful in the future. Sign me up for getting a Leicester Riders jersey. Ultimately, though, I do think the Leicester Riders should be trying to get back to their limited edition jerseys, because these were top tier GOAT jerseys. And if you have one, hit me up in the comments, let me know. I'm pretty confident I'm going to buy it from you. Okay, let's talk Sheffield. Even though I'm a Sheffield fan, I wasn't a huge fan of the 24-25 jerseys. For me, they were just kind of like, they were too shiny. And they were one of those weird ones where actually the pre-official Reebok jerseys looked way nicer than the official Reebok ones. Sheffield has some properly classic colours in the blue and yellow. And I love that this year they've leaned into their away kit being yellow. It looks nice. It looks nice. There's no denying it is kind of plain, but kind of that offset pale yellow does make up for it quite a lot. And it might just be like Mervyn James's choice, but I'm a fan of the fit on this as well. Definitely some things that could be improved. You know, 2 key elements, make it a round neck, potentially add some pinstripes in there. But, you know, I'll be able to live with that. One of the things I do think, though, is that actually when I saw the release of these jerseys, they looked super nice, super clean, and a lot more pale yellow. Seeing them live in the first SLB game against Bristol, these look bright yellow. And there's a picture of Mike Ocherobia looking like he's coming straight out of Kill Bill. Like, slightly garish when it's that bright. I was hoping for something a little bit paler, but it's a classic Sheffield colour. They've lent into it. Really nice black and silver trim. Yes, Sheffield Sharks definitely have taken a solid attempt on their jersey this season. To it. Moving then into Cheshire. The Cheshire Phoenix have only released their away jersey. And talking about bright colours, they have gone for the evil vector colour of an orange jersey with a black stripe. Now, I'm a huge fan of bold choices. The orange is definitely bold. Brings back memory of kind of that sea of orange back in the 23-24 BBL trophy. One of the things that I don't like is the text on this jersey. It looks almost childlike how they've written Phoenix on the front, and it kind of ruins the aesthetic of the whole thing. Ultimately, their jersey last season tried some really innovative stuff. They had the pinstripes and they had like a little Phoenix logo sort of woven into the jersey themselves. So it's a shame that they've gone away from something really intricate and really interesting last season into something a bit more plain this season. But credit to the colourway. I think, again, this is a solid attempt at a good jersey. Now, the Caledonia Gladiators are unique because they've kept exactly the same kit as last year. It's a nice design. For me, the dark blue home kit is much more appealing than the lighter away one. But you've got to enjoy the tartan strip down the side, that kind of link to Scotland. And really adding something fresh in there. These pop on the screen, they look nice, look a bit shiny potentially. For me, they've had both of these designs for a while, and it's an opportunity missed not to create something new, to continue to weave inside their heritage. Would have loved to have seen them, particularly with the women doing so well last year. Is there some way they could have lent into the last year's victories? That being said, for me, the dark blue home jersey is definitely a solid attempt at something nice. And for the lighter blue, personal taste, the light blue, the pale blue is not my colour, so I'm going to buy it if it's on a discount. Overall, there we have it. Those are all the SLB jerseys that we have so far ranked in our tier list. But let me know in the comments, which ones do you love, which ones do you hate, and which ones will you be putting in your rotation? Looking forward to seeing the other designs for SLB teams who haven't yet announced, particularly Surrey. Surrey have a really great history of producing some amazing jerseys, so I have high expectations coming up for them in their first game. But for now, catch you in the next one, guys. See ya!
First play of the game, we're going blind pig.
We're gonna go blind pig.
Blind pig, yeah.
No, I'm also a big fan of the blind pig action.
The only reason we're running this action now is because he wanted to say blind